What's up, y'all? Welcome to Country with Noah. Today, I am going to review Post Malone's country record, F1 Trillion Longer Truck Bed. So, the deluxe edition of this record. This record is really good. I've been wanting to review this record since I started the country channel, but I finally got around to it. So, I'm very excited to do this video for y'all today. So, I listened to this album twice. Oh, yes, and before I start, please subscribe, like, and share this video. It would really help me out, and I would really appreciate it. And it will help build this community and spread positivity about what I do on this channel, and hopefully it helps brighten your guys' day with what I do on this channel and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I've been looking for a time to do this album review, and I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to the album 2 times, and it's a long album, so I'm like, there's no better day than now to do it. So I'm finally doing this review for y'all. This album's great. Like, and like this album's great. I said it on Saturday's video, I believe, or one of Saturday's videos, or it may have been Sunday. I said in the CMA Awards nominations video that I did that Post Malone should win Country Album of the Year. I still think that I have some complaints, but overall, guys, this is a great record. Like, I like how half of this record is like country pop and country rock and stuff like that, and half of this record is straight, like, or more than half, like, a lot of this record is straight, like, old school country, like, and stuff like that. And Post Malone, this sounds like the album that he always wanted to make. Now, you guys know I come from hip hop, so I can say this. Post Malone has always made good music. Always made good music. All of his albums are at least good. Some of them are great, right? But this is the album that he always wanted to make, because I come from hip hop, but I can say, like, a lot of people in the hip hop industry treated Post Malone like shit, right? And excuse my language. Right, and Post Malone makes great music, so I understand. One, because he grew up on country music, and you can tell that because of the stuff he pulls from in this. Like, a lot of it sounds like 80s, 90s country, right? And then you can tell the respect that Nashville has for him, because look at the people on this record. You got Brad Paisley, the king of country music in my opinion, and my favorite male country artist of all time. You got Brad Paisley, you got Lainey Wilson, you got Morgan Wallen, you got Hardy, you got Dolly Parton, you got Hank Williams Jr., you got Tim McGraw, you got Chris Stapleton, you got Ernest, right? Look at you got Billy Strings. Look at all the people that he's got on this album. But vocally, y'all, Post Malone has really improved as a vocalist, and I can say that. He's singing with people on this record like a Chris Stapleton, like a Lainey Wilson. And even though Lainey Wilson is not my favorite person, I can still say she can, not my favorite artist, like, she's not one of my favorites, I can still say that she can sing her booty off, right? Right, I respect talent, even if you're not my favorite artist or one of my favorite artists, right? But he's singing like with people like Chris Stapleton, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll is also on this record too, and stuff like that, and the vocals have really improved for Posty, man, right? This to me sounds like the record that he always wanted to make, or that he's always gonna make. And he said, I think it was last year or it may have been this year, that he already has 33 songs for his new country record, whenever that comes out. So I hope Post Malone stays in country. One, because people actually respect his talent in country. And I come from hip hop, and I can say like you guys know, I'm a big hip hop fan. I cover a lot of hip hop on my other channel, and R&B, and any other genre of music besides country, rock, and gospel, which I cover on this channel, right? But any other genre of music, you guys can check me out on my other channel. Besides those three genres of music that I cover here, country, rock, and gospel, right? But I can say this: hip hop treated Post Malone like shit, right? And I'm glad to see that Post Malone is getting his flowers, and people are respecting his talent here, right? Like um, the writing is some of the best. I mean, like Yours is probably the best written Post Malone record in his whole career. Yours is about Post Malone has a young daughter, right? Like a very young daughter. What I don't know how old his daughter is, but a very young daughter. And he wrote a song about when she gets married, I have to give her to her husband, but she'll always be mine, not yours, right? Or we'll both love her, but I loved her longer than you, right? And and that song almost made me cry, dude. I didn't I didn't think when I heard a Post Malone record that I would be crying, right? Or almost crying. So yeah, for me, like my favorite songs on here are "Goes Without Saying" with Brad Paisley, um, um, "Dead in the Honky Tonk," um, "I Killed a Man," um, "Hide My Gun" with Hardy, "California Sober" with Chris Stapleton, um, uh, Nosedive with Lainey Wilson, actually, because that song's really good. Um, Obviously, I really like Pour Me a Drink and I Need Some Help with Morgan and Blake, respectively. And I really like I really like the two songs of Luke Combs. Now, like the two songs of Luke Combs are Guy for That, which is more of a pop country record, and then you have a song like uh, what's it called? I didn't know I would be missing you like this, right? Which is like a straight '90s country song, or even '80s country song, like old school country song. I really like the song of Ernest, um, "The Devil I Ain't," right? Or "The Devil I Am," right? I really like that song, and stuff like that. So yeah, like my one complaint with this record, guys, is I think it's a bit too long. All the songs are good on it, but I said this when I listened to it the first time, like like I've listened to this album 2 times, but I'm like, if you put so many songs on your record, like you run the risk of people forgetting a lot of the songs before that, right? Like you also, if it's a really good record, people respect that, and people like I like when we get a lot of music. Like I would personally love a 20 song record from Carrie Underwood, but or a 27 song record from Carrie Underwood, but you also run the risk of um people forgetting songs because you have so many songs on this record, right? But it's phenomenal to see Post Malone like excel in this genre of music, because you can tell he's a study, man. Like I'm a study of country music. Like before I started this channel, like you guys know, I've been into country music for 3 years, or almost 4 years now, right? And I'm talking heavy into country music, and right. Um, and before I started this channel, I would, and I still do this. I study like you guys see my reviews. I talk about vocals. I talk about songwriting. I talk about things like that. I study these artists like it's my job, right? Whenever I cover any genre of music, I study these artists like it's my job. So um, like Post Malone's writing style, like has really improved on this record, right? He always made good written songs, but this, like, again, Yours is probably the best song that he's ever written in his whole career, right? You got people like Hardy and Charlie Handsome and Morgan and people like that working on this record, like writing on this record. Um, you got the respect from the OGs with Dolly Parton and um, um, Hank Williams Jr. and Brad Paisley. You got everything you would need for this record to be what it is, and it's phenomenal, right? But yeah, for me, like, I'm finally getting to this record. I finally get to review this record for you guys. This has been a video, guys, that I've wanted to do for over a year, because this album came out August of 2024, even before I had this channel, right? So, and I'm glad I get to do it for you now. Like, so yeah, like, for me, this record is phenomenal. Like, you guys know this. I like all genres of music, right? You guys know this because I covered American Idol this year, and I will be covering American Idol next year. Don't you guys worry about that, because that's one of my favorite series that I've gotten to done on. That's one of my favorite series that I have gotten to do on this channel, cover American Idol. So I will be covering it next year as well. You guys know I'm a big fan of all different types of music, right? But if you're gonna do a new genre of music to you, and obviously Post Malone grew up on country music, and again, as you can tell that, right? You really gotta know your stuff to get it right. And Post Malone, like, even if you've heard Hardy and who else? Miranda and other people talk about it. Like, Post Malone went to Nashville for, like, I think he lives in Nashville now, because according to my mom and my aunt, that just came back from Nashville yesterday, Post Malone has a bar in Nashville called Posties, and they actually went into that bar and they said it was really fun. But yeah, but I really respect that, right? I really respect, because that's what detail that I try to give you guys when I cover a new artist, right? Or when I cover an artist and I review an album or a song. Like, you guys know how deep I am. Like, I'll talk about songwriting, I'll talk about vocals, I'll talk about production and stuff like that. And yeah, like, vocally, this is, okay, I'm gonna say it. It's Post Malone's best vocals on an album, right? Because he has to do a lot. Like, again, he's singing with Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, Lainey Wilson, and he doesn't get carried by any of them, right? So for me, this album is like an 8.5 out of 10. Again, my only complaint, guys, is that I think the album's a bit too long. But other than that, this album's great. So yeah, I would strongly recommend you listen to this album. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review or any of my content on this channel, please subscribe, like, and share this video. I would really appreciate it, and it would really help me out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, and God bless you guys.